Hi, this is Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union, here to talk about two other things that go great together, cars and cash. If you're like me, you like both of those things, and right now, during Cars and Cash Month, Freedom United is making their unbelievable new and late model auto loan available so you can get all the cash you need to get the car you've been dreaming of, based on credit approval and vehicle purchase. Cars and cash. That's a combination that you can't beat. Look for a picture of me holding all the cash you'll need, along with other details about Cars and Cash Month in the Freedom United Facebook feed. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy as he explains the importance of pre-sports testing to help you reduce the risk of injury.
The intrinsic factors are looking at things within our body that could be causing the problem. So that we start to look at as physical therapists, shoulder range of motion, forces at the elbow, things like that. We're looking at the whole kinetic chain. For example, turning your head side to side. If you have less than 39 degrees of that motion, you have a 9 times increased likelihood of an injury. So these intrinsic factors are both measurable and modifiable. So as a physical therapist, I can take a baseball player or any kind of athlete, I can do my tests on them and see if they're within normal limits or outside of normal limits. And based on research that's been done, I can tell if there's a likelihood of injury or not.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
The Rochester True Value, located inside the Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard, is proudly serving the community. The Rochester True Value is independently owned and operated and has experienced workers who can help you with your home projects. The Rochester True Value has tools, products, and all the equipment needed for you to get the job done. The Rochester True Value inside the Shop and Save is open and ready to help with your home improvements. That's the Rochester True Value in Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard.
All families are different, and some have parents or children with little to no eyesight. But this doesn't stop them from sharing the work, play, love, and laughter of family life. Eyesight doesn't define a parent, a child, or a family. What counts is being together. Want to learn more? Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Are you a whistleblower? Not at this point. I ain't even blowing my nose, man. Charlie Dirt and Garden Jargon after the news coming up. Don't forget, tomorrow's busy. Normally, Larry Kelly is here on a Friday. He'll be here tomorrow. State representatives will be here tomorrow because we're doing Rapping with the Reps. And I've done a really good job avoiding totally grossing myself out, but I still have Purell right next to me.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls. Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning. Today's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 78 degrees. We'll have a complete Beaver County Radio weather forecast right after a look at news. The Community College of Beaver County held their 55th annual commencement last week. The college had several unique graduate stories emerge, including husband and wife nurses, 5 female Mascaro construction technology and management grads, and a young man named Carter Donnell, who walked in commencement because as of December 2024, he will have finished all of his flying and has earned his associate's degree as a professional pilot. He achieved this by combining his college and high school credits, CCBC High School Aviation Academy courses, and an additional dual enrollment courses. He will also graduate from Beaver High School this June after graduating from college. The shortage of educators and school staffers has reached a crisis level in some Pennsylvania public schools, and a new Educators Rising program aims to recruit future educators from local schools. Danielle Smith reports.
10 schools are already participating, with students attending the Central Westmoreland Career and Technology Center to develop teaching skills. Donna Rain Odell at the center says the Grow Your Own program at Mount Pleasant High School, the students gain hands-on experience by observing and assisting teachers in classrooms a couple days a week.
So we actually have some of our students that are going into classrooms that are teaching like small group or mini lessons. Like our one student is teaching Spanish 1 whenever she's a Spanish 3 student. And then we have a student that's in AP Bio that's helping with the biology class. So it's kind of cool, and it's definitely a unique situation.
She says next year they will start their first college and high school course at the University of Pittsburgh Greensburg campus. Keystone State Schools are struggling to fill more than 5,500 vacant teaching positions.
Several homes were damaged overnight after a radar-confirmed tornadoes moved through eastern Ohio, the West Virginia Panhandle, and parts of the Pittsburgh area. In the area of Shepherd's Valley Road in Fairhaven, West Virginia, at least 3 homes were damaged. A mobile home was completely destroyed after a tornado touched down in Fairhaven overnight. Significant damage was also found along International Road, where a house had been ripped apart and its roof ripped off. Crews are out working in the area to try to clean up the damage. The National Weather Service said that the radar-confirmed tornado moved through Irondale, Ohio, in Fairhaven, West Virginia, around 1 o'clock a.m. as the storms traveled across the region. Panera Bread said it's discontinuing its charged sips drinks that were tied to at least 2 wrongful death lawsuits due to their high caffeine content. Panera didn't say Tuesday whether the drinks were being discounted or discontinued because of the lawsuits or health concerns. It also wouldn't comment on the timeline for removing them from stores. The St. Louis-based company introduced charged sips in the spring of 2022, and in the fall of 2023, Panera was sued by families of 2 people with heart conditions who died after drinking charged lemonades at Panera. The family said Panera didn't properly warn customers that the drinks contained so much caffeine. After more than a century, Boy Scouts of America is rebranding as Scouting America, another major shakeup for the organization that was once proudly founded 114 years ago. The Texas-based organization has recently been mired in turmoil over a flood of sexual abuse claims and bankruptcy. Now the organization is leaning into a more inclusive message as girls have been joining throughout its ranks. It sends a really strong message to everyone in America that they could come to this program, they could bring their authentic selves, they could be who they are, and they're welcome here, said Roger Crone, who took over last fall as president and chief executive officer. The change was announced Tuesday at the Boy Scouts National Meeting in Florida, but won't take effect until February 2025. In honor of all teachers, there's a Teacher Appreciation Day at Sandcastle Water Park. They announced that there's going to be free admission to all educators beginning opening weekend of Saturday, May 25th through June 30th on all operating days. Educators simply need to present a valid work ID at guest registration and redeem their free ticket. They can also purchase up to 4 discount tickets for family members for only $29.99 at each gate. Sandcastle says there's no better way to kick off an unofficial start to summer and the beginning of the Sandcastle season than by celebrating these individuals in our community and showing our appreciation for their hard work this school year.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing, turning into a beautiful sunny day with a high near 79. Tonight, a chance of showers will drop down to a low of 56. A bit cooler tomorrow with possible showers and thunderstorms. We'll see a high near 67. Partly sunny on Friday. There's a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. We'll reach a high of 62. And showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. A high of 62 is expected. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, May 8th of 2024, it's currently 11:10 a.m. and it's 70 degrees in Beaver County. That's a look at news for now. I'm Ryan Garazunas for 99.3 FM, 1230 a.m. WBVP, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Welcome to Garden Jargon with Charlie Dirt right here on Beaver County Radio. Charlie is here to talk to you about everything having to do with your garden. Garden Jargon is being brought to you in part Beaver County Radio 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA and beavercountyradio.com. Call in now and ask Charlie your gardening questions. Share if you have any gardening tips that have helped your garden grow. Phone numbers are 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. And now, without further ado, here's Charlie.
All right, for the sake of all that is holy, if you are in a position where you can watch the live stream of this on our Facebook page, you need to, because Charlie's dropping mad fashion. Between that shirt and that hat, you are crushing it. What's up, man?
Well, good morning, Eddie.
Good morning. We're going to talk gardening, but
We're going to talk gardening, but before I have something much more important than gardening. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was not perfect, but she was the perfect mother for me. So if you are inclined to get your mother some flowers, Charlie Dirt would suggest that you get something with roots on them that she either can grow in a pot or in her garden.
That stay.
Yeah, nothing against florists, but no matter how you try to treat those cut flowers in a week, they're gone. So happy Mother's Day, and remember, Mom, get her a plant or something to plant. And another breaking news story here that I'm going to do before the actual thing here. This is a message from Randy the Bee Guy. Remember Randy the Bee Guy?
Red Diamond Honey.
You're Red Diamond Honey. He got a hold of me a while back, and he wants me to put out the word. This is bee swarming season. If bees swarm on your property, near your house, whatever, do not panic. Do not spray them.
Don't freak out. Don't try and kill them. It's got to do with they've lost their queen. Or it's got something to do with they're trying to get their hierarchy sorted out.
Right, and I'm not the bee guy, Randy, but don't spray them, don't kill them. Call a local beekeeper. I will give you Randy's phone number, 724-683-4496. 724-683-4496. He's one of many, but if you're not close to Randy, Randy is out in South Beaver. If you're not near where he is, I'm sure your local authorities will know who all the beekeepers are. So don't hurt them. The beekeepers will come get them, and they'll be glad to have them.
They'll be glad to have them because they know what to do, and that means more honey, and that means,
more pollination.
More pollination to save the planet.
Right. Okay, so the first topic here, and I touched on this last year.
That shirt is just killing, dude. Please go on video. You're going to need to get the number for the beekeeper anyway. This is being live Facebook streamed, so if you can't watch it now, you can go to our Facebook page and watch it later. But for the hat and the shirt, I'm sorry I interrupted. I am just blinded by the brilliance of that shirt.
Oh, you make me feel good, Eddie.
Is that an old Woody?
What?
On your shirt, you're looking too low.
You said I had flowers and fruit last year, so I got a car shirt.
Your brain just did a totally different trip.
Yeah, well, you do that to me for an hour every month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, who has more fun than us? That's what my dad used to say.
More fun doing less. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I look forward to this. I know a little bit about gardening. Most of what I know, I learned from my grandmother, but I've learned stuff from you, and 'tis the season to get it in the ground. I've been lazy. I don't got nothing in the ground yet.
Well, we're gonna I got something over here. We're gonna get you started here.
I was holding off until I got schooled up before I did it because I knew one of our topics was dirt, but that's not what we're starting with.
Right. Okay. You have to be safe when you're gardening. As much as you can just get joy out of gardening, bad things can happen if you don't take certain basically simple precautions. And one of them, and I brought this up last year, make sure your tetanus vaccination is up to date. True. If it's been 10 years, even if it's been 8 years, they say 10 years for a tetanus shot. If you're getting around the 8-year mark and you're going out like I do and grubbing around in the ground, get a booster, get your tetanus shot. Okay, my grandfather passed away from tetanus in 1961 that he got from gardening with horse manure. Horse manure is really bad for tetanus. The tetanus bacillus can live in the ground for hundreds of years if there's been horse manure there.
Hundreds of years.
Yes, and then when it gets into a host body like you or me, it becomes active. Okay, people call it lockjaw. One of the things that tetanus does do, and I don't want to get real graphic, it arches your back backwards because it causes your muscles to spasm. Okay, your jaws swell shut. Now, that doesn't get to that point most of the time these days, but when my grandfather died from it in 1961, it was pretty much a death sentence if you got tetanus. Now, most of the time, if they catch it in time, you're going to have some after effects, but it kills like 10, 12, 15% of the people. It's very low compared to what it was, but it's not going to get you at all if you get the shot.
I want to ask you a serious question. Was there a hesitancy for you to get into gardening as deep as you are, having that history?
No, because
I was an emotional.
I was shoulder to shoulder with my grandfather in the garden.
Okay.
You know, it's like, how do you say, it's in my DNA?
Yeah.
Okay. And his way of taking potato bugs off of the potatoes was a Crisco can with what he called coal oil in it, and you bent over, you walked down the row of potatoes, and you knocked the potato bugs into the...
Dropped them into the...
I didn't enjoy that part of gardening. Even at that age, my back hurt when we got done doing that.
Oh, I thought you meant you had a moral thing going with the potato bug. You were just talking about stooped over.
Yeah, stooped over. Yeah, okay.
All right.
So to get your tetanus shot. Now, here's the other thing. And there's going to be stories coming out about this more and more as the summer goes on. Lyme disease. There's Lyme disease, and I got a couple of facts here. I'm not a big numbers guy, but there's some misconceptions about Lyme disease. It is carried by the bite of the deer tick. Mm-hmm. Everybody says you get a bullseye at the site of the bite if you're positive. You don't always get the bullseye.
Yeah.
I know a young lady. She was in our band. She's very, very sick from Lyme disease. And part of the problem is the diagnostic thing is not real accurate. There's a lot of false positives, a lot of false negatives. A lot of people have it. They don't know they have it, or they don't have it, and they're told they have it, back and forth, whatever. But they think that this young lady got the tick. They found ticks in a peach tree in her yard in Beaver Falls. She wasn't in the woods. She wasn't gardening, but she's got Lyme disease. If you get the tick bite and you get the massive dose of antibiotic right after you get the tick bite, you're probably going to be okay. But first, you don't. If you got bit with a tick and you don't get the bullseye, don't say, "Well, I don't have to worry about it." All right, okay. All ticks do not carry Lyme disease.
Now, we're just talking about the bite. We're not talking about you find a tick embedded.
Well, that's the bite. They burrow in, and they actually anesthetize your skin as they're going in. You don't feel them. Mm-hmm. It can be. I've come back from hunting and had ticks on me that I never felt them burrow in there. I've had the massive antibiotics twice from tick bites just because of a precautionary thing.
Which scares you more, the idea of a tick getting you or the idea of you spraying yourself with some of the insane pesticides that gets used to fight that?
Well, there's the stuff that I use when I hunt is called Promethean. Okay, that's you spray that on your...
I think I learned about that in Greek mythology. No, different dude. My bad.
Okay, no, this one the guy. This is stuff you. But if you're gardening, especially if your garden is next to the woods or next to a tall grass field or something, there's a chance there's ticks going to be there. I know in the hot weather it's tough. Long sleeves, long pants, not shorts, and spray your clothes with a little Promethean. You don't have to drown in the stuff, but if you keep the ticks off of you, that's going to help a lot. Now this boggles my mind. I actually looked this up. All right, this is CDC statistics.
Oh, it's a government acronym. It must be true.
It must be true.
Yeah.
Last year, we spent $52 million on Lyme disease research, okay?
All right.
The same year, we spent $225 million on malaria research.
What?
Yeah, Eddie, you can. And I know lots of people that have Lyme disease at different stages of the disease. I've never known anybody that had malaria.
If we were trying to dig the Suez Canal, that would make perfect sense.
Yes, and the malaria is carried by the female Anopheles mosquito. I don't even know if they're native to this part of the country. Now, I'm sure where you grew up in Alabama, it's warm enough. Maybe there could be, but. To me, you spend 5 times more money on malaria than you do on Lyme disease. And I'm not condemning the government. I'm just saying there's not a whole lot of, backing out there for the Lyme disease. It's not I don't know, it's not a romantic disease, if you would.
As opposed to the taffeta feel you get when you talk about malaria.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so wear some long sleeves. Use some Promethean or something like it, or if you want to, there's different brands of stuff you can spray right on your skin. I prefer to spray it on my clothing because if you spray it on your skin and you get sweating and your pores are open, it's going right into your body. It can happen if it's on your clothes, but it's at least there's a little barrier between you and your skin.
And also, I've seen people, now they put the tape inside out on the cuffs to close the bottom cuffs of their pants. They'll take tape, duct tape, and put it inside out, and any tick that tries to get you gets stuck on your tape before it gets you.
Okay, I've never. I don't see why
That's a disc golf thing.
Okay,
there are guys stomping in the woods. They'll have inside out duct tape closing the cuff of their pants, and at the end, 30, 40 ticks on.
Oh yeah,
it shows real quick they're there.
Yeah, and you see that's. I'm glad you brought that up because that's an eye opener because the tick, the size of a tick, a deer tick. If you look at the printed page, a period at the end of the sentence, that's that bugger can be crawling around on you. You're not going to feel him. You're not going to see him. And there's a myriad. There's like 16 diseases that can be carried by different kind of ticks. But the big problem around this area for the last decade or so has been the Lyme disease.
All right.
So if I scared you a little bit out of gardening, that's not my intent. My intent is to help you enhance your enjoyment of the gardening to get one of the worries out of the way. So if you can eliminate the worry about tetanus and eliminate the worry of the ticks, and then, like I say, especially if your garden if you're way out in the country and your garden is next to the woods, if the taller the grass, the denser the vegetation, the more likely there is to be ticks. So if you're going to garden, you got to be aware of that. Okay. All right. Going to skip down now. We'll do some crop rotation and seed viability.
All right. This doesn't affect me because all my plants are grown. Me rotating means I just move them to a different place. You're talking about annual rotation for the benefit of the soil.
Right,
yes?
right.
Okay.
And everything puts something into the soil. Everything takes something out of the soil. There are certain plants that benefit, and I brought this up before, and I found this by accident. I plant my corn where my garlic was last year, and I plant my garlic where my corn was last year. That's been the trade-off, and I hit that by accident. One year I planted my garlic, because I rotate the stuff around. One year I planted my garlic where I had my corn, the best garlic I ever had. Planted the corn where the garlic was, best corn. So whatever the corn puts in the ground, whatever the garlic puts in the ground, they trade off of each other. And there's a story, and I read this in Farmer's Almanac a long time ago. There was a farmer out in the Midwest, and they grew corn, okay? And they grew corn, and they grew corn. Every year they grew corn.
Right.
And every year the corn got less and less yield. And one of the sons went off to the ag school and come back and said, Dad,
did he go to Purdue? Because ag was huge at Purdue.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. So
Came back all learned.
Yes. And he come back. He says, hey, you know what, Dad? Let's put soybeans in for a cash crop this year because it's a good trade-off with the corn. And you need to give the ground a break. Now, there are places in the Midwest, they inject the soil with anhydrous ammonia, which is pure nitrogen, to make the corn grow. It gets in the water wells, and it contaminates the water, and the women have babies with terrible birth defects.
Right.
And that's man's folly, okay. But the point of the story was, so they grow the soybeans, and for the first year in like 10 years, they can pay off the loan. Farmers make loans to buy their seed.
Sure.
Okay. For the first year, in 10 years or whatever, they make enough money to pay the loan for the seeds and have a little extra to put in the bank, and the son is strutting around. And when it come planting season the next year, Dad said, all right, we're done with that soybean nonsense. Let's get back to what we do. Let's grow corn.
Come on. But it's rain on the scarecrow. You're right.
Yeah.
It's year by year. Are you going to make money to do next year?
Right. And the other thing, it doesn't really tie in, but I'm going to kind of lump it together here. Seeds, like everything else, have gotten more expensive. So if you have, and the seeds are dated. So if you have seeds you bought last year or the year before, that's part of your project, Eddie. Look at the date on that package of seeds. What's it say on the bottom? Can you read that fine print?
Packed for 23, sell by 12/23.
So we're past that. Now, certain seeds keep well, certain seeds don't. Some of the hybrids, and this is kind of like a little conspiracy theory, some of the hybrids I've been told they intentionally not to be able to keep the seeds over. All right, they're going to germinate for like a 12-month period after that they're harvested. Some seeds keep well, some seeds don't. Seeds have gotten more expensive. So here's how you test seed viability. Let me know. Is that on the camera?
That is on the camera. He's holding up, it looks like a little Dixie cup, and
yes.
there's you got sprouts, you got seedlings working.
Yes. Now, what this is, and everybody's got these sitting around their house, if you get a bottle of liquid medicine, there's a little cap attached to the top.
It's the Pepto-Bismol drinking cup.
There you go, brother.
That's what it is.
All right. So I had some corn seeds from last year, and these are a little past their prime sprouting, but I wanted to make sure they were sprouted by the time I brought them here. So here's all you do: you take you take a paper towel or a piece of napkin,
just like in 7th grade science.
Yes. And you wet it down, and you put the seeds in there well ahead of when you want to plant your garden. So I did this, 2-3 weeks ago. These seeds are viable. I put 4 seeds in there. There's 4 sprouts there.
Yep.
This prevents you, if the seeds are not viable, if they're not fertile. Now, if you go ahead and plant them in a week or two or around Memorial Day, now you're waiting a week or 10 days and they're not up. Now you got to plant again. I bought some new seeds, but I tested these seeds. I will supplement them. That's all you need to do. If you got seeds laying around, and here's another thing I always tell people, and a fellow at the feed mill told me this, forgot more about gardening than I'll ever know. Cold will not destroy seeds, but heat will. When you store your seeds, if you have seeds left over, a cool, dry place. If you have one of the old houses like me, you have a coal cellar, that's a good place. Maybe a closet, in a room that doesn't get real warm. But heat will destroy the seeds, cold will not. That's why you get volunteer tomatoes coming up where your tomatoes were last year. Them tomato seeds have been laying out there all winter. And
they have their own term, volunteer tomatoes.
Volunteer tomatoes. And some of the best tomatoes. I save some of the volunteers, and some of the neatest tomatoes I've ever had. Who knows? They cross-pollinated with another tomato. But that's all you got to do. If you got a cup like this and a paper towel and some seeds, you do that, and if you're good to go.
It is Garden Jargon. We do this once a month. Charlie Dirt comes in. We talk about seeds. We're going to talk about dirt after the news. And you say, really? Absolutely. This is the stuff I got to study before I plant my seeds. Don't judge.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, brought to you live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, a winning team, 99.3 FM and WBVP, providing news, sports, and information for 76 years.
Start your day with breakfast at McDonald's. Enjoy their 2 for $5 sausage egg McMuffin. Whether you're on your way to work or on your way to school, McDonald's has the right breakfast for you. McDonald's breakfast. I'm loving it.
Some things just seem to go together well. Like salt and pepper, love and marriage, pencils and paper, and liver and onions. What? Liver and onions? Who wrote this? Hi, this is Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union, here to talk about 2 other things that go great together, cars and cash. If you're like me, you like both of those things, and right now, During Cars and Cash Month, Freedom United is making their unbelievable new and late model auto loan available so you can get all the cash you need to get the car you've been dreaming of, based on credit approval and vehicle purchase. Cars and Cash. That's a combination that you can't beat. Look for a picture of me holding all the cash you'll need, along with other details about Cars and Cash Month in the Freedom United Facebook feed. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Your smile adds to your face value, and your teeth are so important to your life and to your good health. An expert in dentistry with many years of experience is Dr. Peter Montini. He and his staff in Beaver are able to help you through painless care. A free consultation with Dr. Montini could help you to decide on a new way of life, one that helps you to a better future. Call today. You will be glad you did. Smile.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning. We could expect today a lot of mostly cloudy with a high of 78 degrees. We'll have a complete Beaver County Radio weather forecast after Look at News. The Community College of Beaver County held their 55th annual commencement last week. The college had several unique graduate stories emerge, including husband and wife nurses, 5 female Mascaro construction technology and management grads, and a young man named Carter Janelle, who walked into commencement because as of December 2024, he will have finished all of his flying and earned his associate degree as a professional pilot. He achieved this by combining his college and high school credits, CCBC High School Aviation Academy courses, and additional dual enrollment courses. He will also graduate from Beaver High School this June after graduating college. The shortage of educators and school staffers has reached a crisis level in some Pennsylvania public schools. A new Educators Rising program aims to recruit future educators from local high schools. Danielle Smith reports.
10 schools are already participating with students attending the Central Westmoreland Career and Technology Center to develop teaching skills. Donna Rain Odell at the center says the Grow Your Own program at Mount Pleasant High School, the students gain hands-on experience by observing and assisting teachers in classrooms a couple days a week.
So we actually have some of our students that are going into classrooms that are teaching like small group or mini lessons. Like our one student is teaching Spanish 1 whenever she's a Spanish 3 student. And then we have a student that's in AP Bio that's helping with the biology class. So it's kind of cool, and it's definitely a unique situation.
She says next year they will start their first college and high school course at the University of Pittsburgh Greensburg campus. Keystone State schools are struggling to fill more than 5,500 vacant teaching positions.
Several homes were damaged overnight after a radar-confirmed tornado moved through eastern Ohio, the West Virginia Panhandle, and parts of the Pittsburgh area. In the area of Shepherd's Valley Road in Fairhaven, West Virginia, at least 3 homes were damaged. A mobile home was completely destroyed after a tornado touched down in Fairhaven, West Virginia overnight. Significant damage also was found along nearby International Road, where a house had part of its roof ripped off during the storm. Crews are out working in the area to try to clean up the damage. The National Weather Service said that the radar-confirmed tornado moved through Irondale, Ohio, in Fairhaven, West Virginia, around 1 a.m. as the storms traveled across the region. The American Red Cross asked the public to give blood or platelets during the Trauma Awareness Month in May to keep hospitals prepared for all transfusions, including emergencies. All who donate now through May 31st will get a coupon for a free haircut by email, plus those who come in to give through May 19th will automatically be entered for a chance to win a trip for 2 in VIP racing experience to the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity races at Darlington Raceway Labor Day weekend, including entry to the Sports Clip Racetrack hospitality tent and a $1,000 gift card. You can book a time to give now by visiting redcrossblood.org, calling 1-800-RED-CROSS, or by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app. After more than a century, Boy Scouts of America is rebranding as Scouting America. Another major shakeup for an organization that once proudly resisted change. Founded 114 years ago, the Texas-based organization has recently been mired in turmoil over a flood of sexual abuse claims and bankruptcy. Now the organization is leaning into a more inclusive message as girls have been joining throughout its ranks. It sends a really strong message to everyone in America that they could come to this program and they could be their authentic self. They can be who they are. They could be welcomed for that, said Roger Crone, who took over last fall as president and chief executive officer. The change was announced Tuesday at the Boy Scouts National Meeting in Florida, but won't take effect until February 2025. In honor of Teachers Appreciation Day, Sandcastle Water Park announces it will offer free admission to all educators beginning opening weekend. Educators simply need to present a valid work ID at Guest Relations to redeem their free ticket. They can also purchase up to 4 discount tickets for family members for only $29.99 at the gate. Sandcastle said there's no better way to kick off the unofficial start to summer and the beginning of the Sandcastle season than by celebrating these individuals in our community and showing our appreciation for their hard work this school year.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing, turning into a beautiful sunny day with a high near 79. Tonight, a chance of showers will drop down to a low of 56. A bit cooler tomorrow with possible showers and thunderstorms. We'll see a high near 67. Partly sunny on Friday. There's a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. We'll reach a high of 62. And showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. A high of 62 is expected. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, May 8th of 2024 at 11:36 a.m., it's currently 74 degrees in Beaver County. That's a look at news for now. I'm Ryan Garazunas for 99.3 FM, 1230 AM, WBVP, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Thanks for tuning in to Garden Jargon with Charlie Dirt right here on Beaver County Radio. It's being brought to you at Beaver County Radio 95.7, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WNBA, and beavercountyradio.com. The phone lines are now open, 724-843-1888, 724-774-1888.
I am not just blowing sunshine up your ego, Mr. Charlie. Charlie Dirt is here once a month. We do an hour, and it's called Garden Jargon, and I'm not just blowing sunshine at you. This, I'm pretty sure, is my favorite regularly scheduled special show.
That's a lot of pressure, Eddie.
Well, no, you're already off the hook.
Okay.
You brought me asparagus, and what's in the jar?
That's cream of asparagus soup.
You do realize that I was down to my bare minimum. I think I had one canning jar, not mason jar. I had one, and since we've been doing this, I got 7 or 8. I got some big tea jug jars, and it makes me very happy. And if you're able to watch this on Facebook, this is being live streamed like we do with Garden Jargon. You want to be happy? Check out Charlie's shirt.
Okay,
killing it today. I know it's radio, but credit where credit's due. I love the shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, to start the last segment here.
Dirt.
But I want to start. I read this the other day, and I really like this quote. The quote was, "If you chase butterflies, they will fly away. But if you plant a garden, they will come to you."
Whoa, that's deep,
Deep, man.
That's like Zen in the art of gardening.
Yeah. And the honeybees will come and pollinate, and the butterflies will come. Mm-hmm. And there's certain blossoms even on your vegetable plants that the butterflies will like. I have some beautiful pictures of yellow swallowtail butterflies in my greenhouse. They have flown into my greenhouse, and they were monkeying around on my plants.
And they said, "We're good here.
We're good here."
Right on.
Yeah, and I took some pictures of them.
Mother Nature rewards you if you try and help Mother Nature.
And you know what? And a big part of that, Eddie, and it's so big, appreciate Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You know, there's this whole thing, take time to smell the roses.
You got to stop, smell. Who, Donna Fargo?
I'm not sure.
That's going to bug me. But, yeah, you got to stop and smell the roses. And if you need to plant them to smell them, okay.
Right. And I have some flower beds. My tulips are just about done now, but I enjoy my tulips and my crocuses and my tiger lilies. And I grow these sunflowers. They're called Mexican sunflowers. They're an orange-colored small sunflower, and they bring in the hummingbirds. You know, your hummingbird feeders are red to attract. Well, they're sort of an orangish red. And thanks to Tom Gargaro's wife, she's the one that told me that they were Mexican sunflowers. I didn't know what they were.
Judith,
yes. Yes. Judith, and because we communicated, and I knew they were sunflowers. I didn't know what they were, and she's the one that schooled me up on them. So thanks to her for that. So, yeah, it's one thing plays off of the other.
do me a favor, grab those headphones and plug them in where you can hear, because I got a couple calls. See if they're about gardening or see if they're about hush money. Or hi, thank you for calling Teleforum. What's your name?
My name is Ella.
Ella, how are you doing, Ella?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good. Are you calling about?
Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. Ella says hi, Charlie. Charlie's trying to strangle himself with a set of headphones right now. If he doesn't strangle himself, he'll return the hi.
I have trouble with the simplest.
The first thing I'd like to say is Mother Nature, would she be the first mother?
Is Mother Nature the first mother?
Yes,
I thought Mary
happy
was.
Mother's Day to all your listeners.
Oh, happy Mother's Day. I think Mary was the first mother. The first mother of note. But we can go with that.
But the world was here before Mary, right?
Yeah, but do you remember any of the mothers before Mary? They didn't get a lot of ink.
The Mother Nature.
Mother Nature.
We gotta move on.
Move on. You're
what's the
sick of it.
fastest growing plant in the world?
What is the fastest? Charlie, you want to take a shot at this? Oh, I know.
But I didn't hear the. What's the fastest growing?
What is the fastest growing plant in the world? I know.
Okay, let Eddie answer this one. Eddie has this one.
Is it seaweed? Kelp?
Nope, bamboo.
It's not kelp?
Nope, it's bamboo.
We're going to have the first fist fight on garden jargon.
For Charlie.
All right.
Ella, do you have a song about bamboo?
Not at the moment. No.
Okay.
No,
what?
I don't. But did you ever hear of vincas? It's a plant.
No.
You're kidding me.
No.
Vincas, it's spelled V-I-N-C-A, and the deer do not like it.
Vinca. No, I don't know that one. Vinca.
And what doesn't like it? Did you say deer don't like it?
No, do not like that.
So if I was out in the country with my garden and I planted vinca around the edge, that would deter the deer?
That would.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's just cheaper than putting up a fence, I guess.
Another question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I live in an apartment, and I'm wondering, could I grow a tomato plant and have real tomatoes growing?
Yes, you can. And we're going to talk about that, about what you're going to need to grow that tomato in. There are specific tomatoes. Now, I'm assuming you're not going to start it from seed. You're going to want to buy a plant to get a head start.
Exactly.
There are tomatoes. And if you go to a greenhouse where there are knowledgeable people, not the big box store, if you can go to if the big box store is your only option, you want to look on the tag. There are tomatoes that are actually marked that they're hybrid for container gardening. They won't get real big. They won't get real leggy, and you'll get a nice sized tomato off of them. There's
just one.
Well, there's. You just want to grow one plant. Or you mean there's only one variety?
You mean there's only one tomato to one plant?
No, you'll get more than he was talking about. In general, the tomato that comes off that plant will be good.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand what I said. You'll get multiple tomatoes, and tomatoes, for the most part, are self-pollinating. So you don't have to worry about having a lot of bees around to pollinate them, for they're self-pollinating. But you want to get a container-oriented tomato, I guess the best way to put it. And
that's me.
So that's
you.
what it's called.
No, that's Ella and I. I do the same thing, Ella, that you're talking about. Container gardening.
Yes. And I brought Eddie some tomatoes here. Okay, because I brought him some tomatoes I started about 2 months ago, but I'm sure his cats have probably got them by then.
We have had a talk, and you're exactly correct. And it was the nice one that did it. The other one, the snotty one, ratted it out. So I'm really glad to see those tomatoes.
Well, that's Elliot, when if you're going to buy a plant and plant it in a container, what you're going to want to get is you want to get some potting soil. And there's different kind of soils, but we're going to since you brought this patio tomato, that's the word I'm trying. One of the tomatoes, they're called a patio tomato. You want to get a bag of potting soil, and the potting soil will be the texture and the nutrient that you need to grow that tomato plant. Now, toward the middle of the growing season, you may have to give it a little fertilizer, a little Miracle Grow or something. Not a whole lot if it's in a container. But if you are you going to be putting this like outside on a ledge or on a sunny windowsill?
No, I don't even have a patio. So if I get the patio tomatoes, maybe one will appear.
Okay, and so here's what you're going to want to do.
I don't have a patio.
So if you've got it on a sunny windowsill, and and Eddie have talked about this, a lot of new houses are built and they don't even have windowsills. I don't understand that.
Right.
I built extra windowsills on my windows, but that's another story. You're going to want to turn that plant about a quarter of a turn a day because natural photosynthesis is going to pull that plant toward the sun. So you set it in the window and it's growing.
That's a great idea.
Well, you have to. And you'll notice it. It's not a subtle thing. It will bend right toward that sunny window. And just keep turning it and keep rotating it and keep an eye on it and make sure, check it once in a while for bugs. Now, if you only got one plant and you notice any bugs on it, instead of using some kind of poison on it, especially since it's inside your house, what you're going to want to do is get like a spritzer bottle from the dollar store and make a mild dishwashing solution. You can get the cheap dish soap. You don't have to get the expensive stuff. Make a real weak dish, and if you start to see bugs on it, spritz the plant with that dish soap, and that will get rid of the bugs in a non-toxic type of way. There is an insecticidal soap that's specially made for that. You don't need to go buy a bottle of that if you got one tomato plant. But I'm glad you called me. I want an update on this, and don't wait till I'm in here next month. You can call Eddie in a couple of weeks or whatever because I listen every day.
I sure will. That's the next project I'm working on. And finally, I want to give everybody some time. Okay, what does the sun drink out of?
What does the sun
when it's thirsty? What does it drink out of?
I don't know.
Well, sunglasses.
I feel less bad about hanging up.
We love you.
Okay,
feel less bad about hanging up on her now.
Thank you.
Ella, thank you for calling. And seriously, give me an update on what's going on with the Maters. Somebody else is calling.
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Helene.
Helene, thank you for calling. Do you have a question for Charlie?
Yeah, I wanted to know what you could put on your hostas and shrubs to keep the deer from eating them.
Ooh. An electric fence?
Well,
I love deer. It's amazing the relationship we have with deer. We love deer until they start messing with our stuff or tear up our bumper. Then we hate deer.
Yeah, I don't. Boy, that's a tough one. Unless you can put some kind of, I don't think you want to put a deer-proof fence around your hosta because that would be like a 6-7 foot fence.
Yeah.
What was that plant that Ella said? Visca?
Visca?
I would just from what Ella said, and plant some of them around the perimeter of the hosta, and if the deer hate them that bad, I'm assuming if the deer hate them that bad, they must give off an odor, because deer run on their sense of smell more than anything else, hearing and sense of smell.
Yeah, it ain't their brain.
Yeah. And
do you have a dog?
No.
Wow.
Vinca, that's what Ella said. Was Vinca, yeah. And I would say to try that because I'm a big thing for non-toxic, but
I'm going to give you, I got an idea.
Okay.
I got an idea. Old aluminum pie pans. Get 2 of them, tie them together, and then hang them. And my grandmother swore it kept the critters out of the garden. The noise that it will make, tinging back and forth when the wind blows.
Yeah. That I've seen that. My parents sort of did that. My grandparents sort of did that. And that's not gonna. It's gonna startle them and scare them. And that's a tough one. Yeah. Do you live out?
I wanted to know too if you could give me that beekeeper's number.
I
again.
sure can. Okay, his name is Randy McCracken. His company is Red Diamond Honey, and his phone number is 724-683-4496. 724-683-4496. He also has some of the best honey and bee pollen.
I'm almost done. I've been hoarding it. I've got a little bit of honey left. Saturday mornings, if it's not the full English, it is an English muffin with his honey drizzled on it. It's amazingly good.
Yeah. And you know what I do? Go ahead.
What's the name of his company?
Red Diamond Honey. He's in South Beaver. He's on Acretown Road.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Let us know if it comes to fisticuffs with you and the deer. My grandmother swore this noise keeps the deer out, and it was two aluminum pipe ends tied together where they'd blow in the wind and ping, 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 and hit each other. Mm-hmm. All right, we got about 4 minutes to cover everything about dirt.
All right.
This is the stuff I need to know.
All right. If you're putting in a yard, a lawn, if you're doing some landscaping, you want to buy topsoil. Topsoil is usually not sold in small quantities. I have seen it in bags in the store here and there. But topsoil is exactly what the name says. They've skimmed that soil off somewhere. Say they have taken a farm country setting and turned it into a housing development. A lot of times they'll skim that topsoil off and process it. You buy topsoil. Your man comes in with a dump truck and tail spreads it, and you spread it out and you plant grass or your hosta plants or whatever you want. That's topsoil. Now, what Ella needs, and if you're going to go buy a couple pepper plants, tomato plants, or like Eddie does, containers on the back porch, whatever, you want potting soil. Potting soil is a very, very fine, it's usually very dark in color, okay? And it'll have some nutrients in it. You'll have to supplement it a little bit. But the main advantage of the potting soil is it drains well. No plant likes wet feet. You can kill. Matter of fact, that corn thing I showed you that's going bad, okay, the sprout.
Yeah,
it's too wet.
Your 4 sprouts, and that ain't helping them.
Right, it's too wet. But I didn't want long term here. I just wanted.
Right.
All right. So potting soil drains. So you'll have to put some sort of a container under your potting. You have to put something to catch the moisture when it comes out. Some pots, which are really neat, have a thing attached right to the bottom that catches the water so the water doesn't run out all over the place.
I got a couple of those. They are snazzy. It's basically a false bottom.
Yeah. And if you just got a regular flower pot, and this is the cheapness in me coming out, I still buy coffee. I call it the 3-pound can. It hasn't been 3 pounds since forever. It's like 2 pounds, 4 ounces or something now.
Sure, shrinkflation.
Yeah, that lid that pops off of that plastic can.
Yeah,
is perfect for going underneath a small flower pot.
Oh, you're right. Slide right under there.
Set the pot right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, repurposing. Now, we're pretty much too late to start pretty much any kind of seeds now, other than some of the stuff that germinates quick, like cucumbers and stuff. But if you want to start pepper and tomato seeds, you want to buy seed starting mix. I buy it in a 3.7 cubic foot bale. It's huge. I start a lot of seeds. If you're going to start a couple of trays of seeds, you can buy small containers of it, and it'll say on her, it's usually like it'll say 4 quarts or 6 quarts or something like that. So you can kind of guesstimate how big a bag you got to buy or how many you got to buy. That's a combination of like processed peat moss and chopped up vermiculite. You see these little white pearly looking pieces in there?
Yeah.
That's vermiculite. It's like the same stuff they make insulation out of. That keeps the soil loose. That little plant that's trying to germinate comes up, doesn't have a lot of force coming up. It can't push through hard soil. It can't even push through the potting soil too well. If you get the seed starting mix, then you can start your seeds. And what you can do is what I did for Eddie here. This is sort of a hybrid thing.
Cool.
All right. You see what this is?
That is a Pringles or a potato chip can with tomatoes.
Yes.
That have sprouted.
Okay, this is plastic. Pringles is kind of a paper can, so the Stacks thing works better.
Okay.
All right. So what you want to do, I took for Eddie here, and I put some soil out of my garden.
It's a plastic tube.
It's a plastic tube.
Yeah.
And this is the lid. Okay.
Never short the lid, man.
Never short the lid, man. Okay, so what I did is I put my garden soil, this is out of my garden, in like the first half, Then I put some tomato seeds in there. That's the purple grape tomatoes that I started for you before. All right?
I'm going to tear them up.
Don't let the cats get this one. Then I planted the seeds in the very top with the the seed starting mix. So they were able to come up, and there'll be some nutrition down in the bottom from the garden dirt. Now, here's the beauty of this, Eddie. You get your soil ready in your container, pop the bottom off of this, and stick it down, and don't do anything. Because when you feed this container will hold the nutrient right around there.
Right.
Okay? No muss, no fuss, easy peasy. And you can start setting it outside a little bit at a time now to harden it off so it gets used to the weather. Then when you take it in at night, put it in the closet away from the cats. Then,
yeah, they run the closet too.
You have a door in your closet?
It's warm enough now, though. I don't even need to take it in.
This hasn't really been hardened off properly.
Okay.
You start seeds. If you just put them right out, they may not die, but they'll get yellow. They'll get nasty looking.
They won't like it.
They won't like it. So this is your project. That and that 1-year-old package of okra seeds, you can do this with a couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you 2 homework assignments here.
All right.
So we're good to go. Once again, don't forget, Mom, get her something with roots on it rather than something that's cut off. And if you chase the butterflies, they'll fly away. If you plant the garden, they'll come to you.
Charlie Dirt, Garden Jargon, wise words indeed.
Beaver County Transit Authority connects you to where you want to be. The doctor's office or well-deserved shopping spree will take you to wherever you please.
The Beaver County Transit Authority Fast Forward Summer Pass is back in 2024. The application is now available online at bcta.com or in person at the Rochester Transportation Center. The days are getting longer and the weather is warming up. Don't miss your chance to travel around Beaver County and even into Pittsburgh all summer long. Children ages 6 to 21 ride free between June 1st and August 31st.
Safe, no fuss, leave the driving to us. Adventure's just a ride away. Beaver County Transit Authority, BCTA. Ride the bus.
The Rochester True Value, located inside the Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard, is proudly serving the community. The Rochester True Value is independently owned and operated and has experienced workers who can help you with your home projects. The Rochester True Value has tools, products, and all the equipment needed for you to get the job done. The Rochester True Value inside the Shop and Save is open and ready to help with your home improvements. That's the Rochester True Value in Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard.
In Beaver County, there are many great stories to tell. One such worthy story is that of the Drug-Free Aliquippa program. Now in its 4th year, the project has enjoyed great success